I've flown down into the southern tip of India, and I'll be traveling through 2 states, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, from the Indian Ocean in the east to the Arabian Sea in the west. It's a land of Hindu temples, hill forts, pidgin English, and vegetarianism, and from November to March, it's blue skies all the way. Setting off from Madras, I was heading south through Tamil Nadu to the temple city of Madurai, then across the mountains to Kerala to cruise on the famous backwater canals before ending my journey on the remote islands of Lakshadweep. Madras, the capital of Tamil Nadu, is the 4th largest city in India. If you're coming in on a long-haul flight, this is where you're most likely to land. The city boasts an international port, the longest beach in the world, according to the locals, and a movie star as its state chief minister. It's where the East India Company first arrived from London in 1639. In amongst all the hustle of Indian city life, you'll have to hunt hard to get some peace and quiet. Even downtown, accommodation is cheap. A single room overlooking the leafy courtyards in the Broadlands guest house was only $4.
So this whole place used to be a palace, and now it's a sort of inexpensive hotel for backpack travelers. And it's 200 years old, and you can expect to get a very, very firm mattress indeed. I think this hotel's going to last another 200 years. And it's quite well known because the management's very helpful to travelers who've lost their passports or their money. And they've even got this little note for travelers. Attention, guests are advised to be cautious of strangers at hotels around who coax you for a dance party or something like they are troublesome.
But travelers don't really come to Madras for dance parties. They're here to sort out their visas, ship parcels home, book trains and buses, and go. Indians say, follow the herd and you will find good grazing.
This restaurant serves 3,000 meals a day. High turnover, very fresh. I'm sure I won't get sick.
Don't be put off by first impressions. The food at the restaurant Sangeeta is freshly cooked every day, but as a rule of thumb, try and stick to the vegetarian rather than the meat. The most popular lunchtime dish in South India is the thali.
Please use all your fingers and mix the rice. Take the rice with your hand. Yeah. Push it with your thumb.
Is this where's this leaf from? What kind of leaf is it?
This is a banana leaf.
Banana leaf.
And we don't use plates, we use banana leaves. Because one, it's cheaper, it's cleaner.
They're very clean.
And it's throw away. It's tasty, you like it?
It's delicious.
You try it once, you'll love it.
It's really great. Well, it's all a little bit spicy, which I guess is very typical of South Indian food, and it's all vegetarian, which is also typical of South Indian food.
And your food, as far as the rice is concerned, is unlimited.
It's unlimited. It's all you can eat for 35 cents.
So yeah, बढ़िया.
Okay, now. Oh, what up? Hey, not too We're about 100 miles south of Madras on our way to the fort town of Gingy. They measure distances by beedies. Beedies are these cigarettes. So you can ask somebody, how far is it to Gingy? And they'll say close by, and you'll say, well, how far is that? They'll say, oh, you smoke 2 beedies and you'll be there.
2 beedies worked out to be 4 hours on the bus. Indians obviously smoke very slowly. The trip cost less than $1. Gingy is a typical Indian market town. At first sight, chaos. But on closer inspection, it's a community, drinking coffee, buying, selling, and gossiping. Enter one white female traveler, and it all grinds to a halt. Dealing with the attention of some Indian men is a challenge for every woman traveler.
No sense of space or boundaries. They come like right up in your face. And you're like, ah, yeah. Like, whoa.
Always the men in train stations, bus stations, always take me and okay, where are you going? And let me get your bag, sister, come with me, like, they're great.
I feel safer here than I do in Manchester at night time. I feel safer here.
One thing I'd say, be very clear in yourself about not wanting the hassle. No eye contact. And when they do come at you, I've had quite a few times, people just like bashing into me in the street or actually groping me and just hit them and shout.
Fun.
Gingy town grew up around a 700-year-old fort. It was besieged by the Mughals, battered by the French, and surrendered to the English, which probably explains why there isn't much left to look at. But even ancient ruins have their role in the 1990s as the perfect backdrop for epic Indian movies. That night, a marriage scene from the new love story Indian was due to be filmed. I heard you could earn a few rupees as an extra, so I went along. Unfortunately, 4,500 other people had the same idea. In India, if you adopt a confident attitude and put on your best outfit, you can talk your way into anything, even a moment with the stars.
How many films do you work on it at one time?
Well, it depends. Normally I work about 3 schedules a day or something.
3 schedules a day? So you will do 3 films in one day?
It's like, that's right. Say, we begin at 7 in the morning and work till 1 in the afternoon. Then continue
another film?
Yeah. We move on to the next film from 2 to 6 or something. And from 7 to 1 or 2 in the morning.
Again, another film. Mm-hmm. How many films have you made in your career?
Now I have slowed down. I stopped counting after about 160.
160?
Probably I would have done about 170.
Are you used to this, having all these crowds around watching everything you do?
You can't do anything about that. They're there.
In the end, only one scene was filmed, but the townsfolk of Gingy sat up all night so as not to miss it. There's only one thing Indians are more passionate about than their movies, and that's their gods. Half a day by bullock cart took me to the temple at Tiruvannamalai.
So this is your sort of full-on Hindu temple kit. This is filled with ashes for the forehead. These are food offerings to the god, dates, sugar, and sandalwood, incense. And this necklace, which is like this, you're supposed to put it on, and you can't take it off until you die.
Probably the most popular of all gods is Ganesh, represented by the elephant. Ganesh is said to bring good fortune and wisdom. Slip a coin into the wet, steaming end of its trunk, and you'll be protected against everything but a cricked neck. There are nearly 700 million practicing Hindus in India. You can never become one. You're either born a Hindu or you're not. Hindus believe in reincarnation, that all animals are sacred, in particular the cow, and in daily worship. Most temples are dedicated to the three main Hindu gods, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. This is Shiva's temple, and it's said to be the largest shrine in South India. This small black smoky flame is a manifestation of the great god Shiva.
Touch your eyes.
Touch my eyes. Do you like going to temple? Do you look forward to going to temple?
Yes, very much. So whenever I'm mentally disturbed or when I don't feel peaceful, I just come here at least once in a fortnight. I come here. And when I come here, I feel totally relaxed. If I get a chance, I don't miss it.
For decades, Westerners have been drawn to India in search of the spiritual. I took a bit of a detour to check out a utopian commune set up in the 60s which claims to have found some of the answers. It's called Auroville, the city of dawn.
I'm just really curious to see what this community is like. I've heard it's quite... Whoa, sorry.
Auroville's soul is a vast concrete sphere which is used as a meditation center.
What is that?
This is Matar Mandir.
Matar Mandir.
And which means is temple for mother, mother's temple.
The mother, a French woman and a disciple of the Indian nationalist and guru Sri Aurobindo, devised a scheme for turning 2,000 acres of wasteland into a mini metropolis for up to 50,000 people, a new species dedicated to human unity and universal understanding. People don't own anything, and property is allocated according to the needs of the individual. But while some end up with air-conditioned superhomes, others make do with a treehouse.
We came here by accident. We heard about it from other people, and then we came here. And my first impression was really strange. I saw all these Western people in a deserted area in India, you know, and all these big houses. And I thought, well, what is this, you know? What are people doing here?
People flocked here from all over the world, all with different reasons for leaving home.
Upstairs?
Leon came here from Miami in the mid-'80s.
So sturdy. Oh, this is great. It's so simple.
Make yourself comfortable.
Wow. You got your music?
Got my music.
Got your books?
Got my books. Got my electricity.
Your electricity? What did you leave behind in the States? What did your life look like there?
Living in Coconut Grove, Florida. Had a large home, Mercedes, the boat, the whole bit.
You gave it all up for this.
Well,
I would too.
I gave it up. It got taken away. So, happenstance.
As well as the old-timers who've been here from the beginning, there's now a new generation of Aurovillians who continue the human experiment.
I can't really figure out what people are doing. Is it spiritual? Is it like is it a country club? Is it a retirement community? Is it a summer camp? Is it work-oriented, spiritually oriented? What is this place about?
It's like you, what you are. If you can answer your question, what you are, that's what Auroville is actually. To find yourself out what you are, and that's what Auroville is.
most of us have just grown up here anyway, and so it's home more than, and we don't need to answer these sort of deep philosophical questions.
So does everyone who live here work?
Supposed to be, and time being, most of them are.
Since I've arrived, I've been doing this sort of theatre activities and things like that, which are just a way of trying to be a positive influence in the space. Like I grew up here as a kid and came back, and I just really want to sort of feel like I'm here, doing something good.
Right now I do nothing. I was going to school and I stopped school and planning to go traveling.
Work is not a means of earning one's livelihood here, but a means of self-expression. So yes, you hold it like that, and then don't put too much because the soil is quite heavy, and then you go and throw it on the street.
Okay, you'll notice that I'm the only white person here, and that's because I really shouldn't be here, because in fact, all the work in Auroville is done, all the labor, manual labor is done by villagers, Tamil villagers who live on the outside, which really blows my illusion, because I thought Auroville was sort of, built and worked and maintained by the Aurovillians. In fact, that's not the case. So, if you want to come and hang out in Auroville, you have to bring your own money, because as a tourist you're not allowed to earn money here, and there's really nothing that you're allowed to do that'll support you. So this is a totally unrealistic thing that you're watching right now. Okay. Well, I don't think it's looking its most impressive because it's not really finished. They've only been working on it for 25 years, but eventually, in about 5 years or so, it'll be covered in gold discs, and then it'll look great.
By early spring, the plains are already hot and dry. By midsummer, the temperatures are already reaching the hundreds. The only way to escape the heat is to head up into the mountains to small hill stations like Kodi Canal.
Bus journey. I'm in Kodi Canal, which is a hill station, which is where the English built their homes to get away from the heat down there. It's 2,000 meters above sea level, very cold in the morning, and thank God South India is the land of coffee, because that's what I desperately need.
If you ever need food and drink in the small hours, find out where the truck drivers stop. This place was optimistically named Darling by Night.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Nandri. It is good. It is creamy and sweet. Yummy.
Kodi Canal is no longer the exclusive British refuge it once was. Nowadays, it's a resort for middle-class Indian families and newlyweds. It's also home to the odd expatriate.
Oh, hello.
You're about the most genuine-looking Indian thing around here.
Oh, yeah? Is that a fact?
You're from the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Well, I recognize the accent.
Oh, talking to my cow, huh?
Is this your cow?
No, but they're all my friends.
Yeah. This is pretty amazing. I've been invited on a picnic by these absolutely beautiful, sort of upper-class Indian ladies, and this is Daniel, who's organized the whole thing, haven't you?
Yes.
This is very typical of Indian hospitality. If you're traveling alone, you'll meet a lot of Indians. Daniel's leading the ladies. So is this the ideal spot for a picnic, Daniel?
Yes, madam.
This is it, huh?
Yeah.
And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
How does courtship work?
Usually,
The families
marriages, yeah, the
arrange.
family will arrange for people to meet. And then you take it from there.
You're not married yet,
No,
are you?
I'm single.
Do you want to get married?
Yeah.
And would it be an arranged marriage or would it be for love? or-
It's both ways. I've been given the freedom to choose if I like somebody, and I've also given the freedom to my parents to choose for me.
So are they looking?
Yeah, they're looking.
When you're in a courtship with a man, do you sit down and say, well, I like this and I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, what do you like?
I think mostly people do that, but in my case, I wrote it all down because I was too shy to ask him. And so I wanted him to know, because this is one of the questions asked, men do normally ask you, are you a good cook? So I wanted him to know I hate cooking and I eat only to survive. And
You're not sure really even at that point of time whether you like him or not, You're still trying to adjust. And then, now my husband comes from a family of one son. He's one son. His father was one son. His grandfather was the only son. Everyone said, okay, you've done well enough producing a daughter, but,
We'd really
it is
like a boy.
necessary to produce the son. And so Vaughan Craig arrived,
Thank God.
Intoxicated with mountain air and talk of life and love, I made a major error of judgment as I headed off downhill.
Back in the hot, steaming plains of the south, off to a city called Madurai for a festival. And in a rare moment of insanity, I decided to come via video bus. Great idea, terrifying reality. Apparently, even the Indians aren't taking them as often as they used to. Can't imagine why.
Madurai is one of South India's oldest cities, and its temples are the main attraction. It's been a center of learning and pilgrimage for centuries.
There's supposed to be 100,000 people coming to Madurai for this festival. And super experienced traveler me, I didn't book a room in advance. Now, I made calls on sort of the automatic system, and all I did was lose a lot of rupees, so this is the alternative. Looking for a hotel room tonight.
A lot of the telephone booths are run by disabled people. This man was completely blind but had memorized the numbers of the best hotels.
You have a room for tonight? No rooms. This is Supreme?
Supreme.
You don't know less expensive hotels? No rooms tonight. Hey. Am I getting it?
With time to kill before the festival, I went to one of Madurai's 50 cinemas. 50 cents for a seat in the stalls, $1 for the balcony.
This is what you do if you can't afford to go to a nightclub, and no one in India, very few people can afford to go to a nightclub. So the alternative is movies. What are we seeing today? Killer Force? Killer Force? Is that the name of the movie? They don't even care? Whatever. Violence, sex, action, packed adventure. Not a woman's movie, definitely not a movie.
It's dinner time, and another South Indian specialty, the dosa, a light, crispy pancake that comes in all sizes, depending on how many friends you've managed to make.
Family dosa, supreme family dosa. Morning and evening. I don't like rice and noodles, only this one.
So are you traveling here?
No, well, we're doing a working experience exchange. We're living here for a year.
You're living here?
Yeah, we've been here 4 months so far.
Where are you living like in a dormitory or?
We're living with an Indian family.
You're living with a family?
Yeah, it's about 10 kilometres.
How's that working out?
It's just tough, but it's, we're getting used to it. The first month was very hard, but now we're sort of used to it.
The house is very dirty.
Is it?
And we've had rats and mice in the house.
They prepare all the food on the floor, and the floor is like covered in dust, and you've got mice and rats that run across the floor. Our first, we've been there 4 months and we've been ill every other week, sort of thing. Food poisoning, stomach upsets, quite bad around.
So it's like not what you expected, hey?
No, it's very
different. Basically, Shri Meenakshi.
A well-informed local attempted to shed some light on the big event that had brought us all to Madurai.
Wait. So this festival celebrates the lunar birthday of the king? Something like that?
It basically celebrates the change in the season.
Okay.
But it coincided with the birthday of the king. It so happened that this is also, tomorrow is the day there's going to be a full moon. So instead of him coming to the temple, he got the deities to come to a place which is called the Tepum Float Tank. And it's beautifully illuminated, and they expect up to 100,000 people there. Quite a crowd, difficult getting through all this.
Amazing.
There'll be major enthusiasm amongst people, just see them,
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest.
It is, but then for them it's a major high. They're on a high.
This festival attracts pilgrims from all across India. It was amazing to see how such a seemingly small spectacle could draw such a huge crowd. An illuminated barge carrying the images of Hindu gods is pulled back and forth across the lake before being returned to the temple. With no hope of getting a room in town, I decided to head on, an overnight train to Quilon by the sea. With over 1.5 million employees, Indian Railways is the largest employer in the world.
Yeah. To the train there?
Bangalore.
Bangalore. Where's Quilon?
Quilon.
This way.
I wondered if they were all as helpful as the porter who looked after me.
Oh my God. I'm sure it's delicious, but it looks absolutely revolting. Have you had dinner yet? You know, I just would like some fruit. Why don't you have it? You have it. Your supper, my supper. Your supper, my supper. No. Your supper. No. Really, your supper, my supper. My supper, your supper.
If possible, force yourself to go to the lavatory before you board the train. Believe me, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome to my first-class sleeper compartment. Great bargain. It's a 10-hour overnight journey. It costs only $10. Very cleverly designed. These are the fan settings, water bottle container, and a reading light. Yeah? And now we're moving from the living room to the bedroom. Very simple. There we go. And now this lungi is most often worn as a skirt. However, you can also use it as a towel, sheet, yeah? And if you really want to travel in style, it sort of doubles as a headdress. And it's très elegant, as long as you don't look at the floor, because that's where all the cockroaches are. Don't look. Don't look at the floor. Don't want to look at the floor.
By next morning, I had crossed a range of mountains and was in a different state with a different language, Kerala. Its sun-drenched coast is dotted with little bays and beaches, like the one at Varkala.
This is Varkala, the new in, hangout, chill-out place for travelers. I am so ready for this.
After the discomfort of an Indian train, there's nothing more reviving than being slapped around, stepped on, and covered in plant oil. Passed on secretly from father to son, techniques of Ayurvedic massage go back thousands of years.
Oh, this feels a lot better, this foot thing. Really nice.
With package tourists now invading the old hippie hangout at Goa, seasoned Indian travelers are now seeking out beaches further south, first at Kovalam and now Varkala.
One papaya lassi, one cornflake with banana, one special muesli with one fresh lime soda sweet.
The only people that weren't resting were students from the Indian School of Martial Arts. Kalari Payattu is the oldest martial art in the world, and it started in Kerala.
We fight with pressure point system. We believe there are deadly points in human body.
Deadly points.
Yeah. Yes. Naturally, if I touch you here.
It hurts a lot, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, now if I do that to you, is that gonna hurt?
If you locate the right place.
Do I have to be strong to do it?
No, you don't have to be strong, but you'll have to get the place. You have not got the place.
I didn't get the place.
It is very easy to get the place if you know the place.
Okay, yeah, you got that place. Okay, let me see if I can get your place. No?
Next time.
Okay, show me. I want to learn one. How many years do I need to study with you before you teach me the pressure point?
12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Kerala is truly an extraordinary state. Its people have the same life expectancy as North Americans, they have access to free birth control, and they're over 90% literate. But when it comes to asking for directions...
Excuse me, do you know the elephant? You know elephant sanctuary?
I really love Indian people because they're so friendly all the time and always want to help you. But that's a problem too. Elephant. If you want to go somewhere and you go to an Indian and say, which way will I go if I want to come to the temple or something? And you ask, should I go that way? And he says, yeah, I guess go that way. Go that way. Just to be sure, you ask someone else. The way to the temple. That's that way. That way.
Elephant.
That's only because they want to be kind and helpful.
Which bus? Where's the bus? You show me. Very sweet. Thank you.
Elephants are very important to Indian people. When they're not being gods in temples, they're out on hire to plantation owners. If you want one at your wedding, it could cost several $100s for the afternoon. In India, anything that valuable gets very well looked after, and that includes a 2-hour bath every day. Unfortunately, they can't change the bathwater.
Walking on a lot of elephant food. Hello. So you take a little bit of coconut shell?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. How do you hold it? This. Like this. It doesn't hurt? Doesn't hurt? Ooh.
Very good. Okay.
Good boy.
Each elephant is looked after by its own mahout, often the same man for many years. The elephant knows its mahout by his voice, smell, and verbal commands. It's hard to believe that during their sexual period, for several months each year, these placid-looking creatures turn into wild and dangerous killers. One of the highlights of a trip to Kerala are the backwaters, a system of lakes and waterways that cover over 350 square miles. Chinese traders settled here in the 9th century, and their legacy can be seen in the fishing nets and thatch-covered cargo boats that sail the waters. For an unforgettable trip, hire one of these boats for a few days. I think the best way to avoid getting sick in India is obviously drink a lot of bottled water, but keep your hands clean, keep your nails short, because after all, this is what you used to eat with. $50 a day includes a boatman, a living cook, and more delicious food than you can possibly eat. Namaskaram, Moniche. These come so handy. Thank you. This is in Italy. The whole thing is a very typical South Indian breakfast. It's basically a steamed rice dumpling, and it's very light and spongy. So you use your right hand and you dip it in the samba. You scoop it out. Delicious. Off to see this female guru, worshipped by millions around the world. Her ashram is somewhere here in the backwaters, and I think I'm very appropriately dressed for this. Okay.
Excuse me, madam.
Tiffin box.
Yes, box.
Thank you, thank you. These are great. 4 little food compartments. Lots of more samba. Idlis. Bye, beautiful houseboat. It was good to have Silas with me, as one canal led into another and yet another. Without a guide, you'll never find your way around here. In the backwaters, you can also find one of India's most famous religious retreats, known here as an ashram. First ashram. She's thought to be the incarnation of the Divine Mother. It's a little intimidating. They say that this guru, Amma, has hugged over 10 million people from all over the world, and they're still coming. The hugging is known as darshan and is meant to produce a beneficial spiritual current.
just like what it would feel like to get a really great hug from a really great mother. And I have no idea what she said to me, but believe it or not, I have an incredible amount of energy, and I didn't before.
There's something else equally essential to life in the backwaters. It's called a toddy bar, and it's where all the men go when it's too dark to be out fishing and too early to go back to the wife. Toddy is fermented coconut water. It tastes like homemade cider. That's gone off a bit.
Just like a bar anywhere in the world.
To celebrate the fact that I'd crossed India without getting sick, I drank my fair share and sang with the rest of them. I took off from the mainland and headed out to the Lakshadweep, 36 tiny coral islands in the middle of the Arabian Sea. "15 hours by boat from Cochin, it's the closest thing I found to paradise on earth, with nothing to do but sleep, eat, swim, and regress into childhood." The Lakshadweep is a northern extension of the Maldive chain, but you need a permit to come here, and there's hardly any infrastructure for visitors. Yet. The thing I love most about traveling is when it makes me think differently about where I come from. Like, the United States is geared so much toward money, career, toys, skeptical of anything we can't measure. Whereas in India, it's the exact opposite. It's the flip side. They live the spiritual. Religion's entwined in everything. Fashion, money, stuff, it's not a big priority here. And yet I have seen more smiling faces here than I have seen anywhere else. These people definitely have got something that we've lost.
See this piece of land over here? That's my destination, Morocco. I don't like that dirty laugh.
I've been here now for about 12 hours, and it still feels kind of strange, the whole idea of it, an American going traveling in Vietnam.
After a grueling 30-hour flight from England, I'm actually here in Fiji. What's the pigeon for stop bloody raining?
Stop bloody raining.
Is that it?
That's it.
That is truly gross.
I made jokes about getting diarrhea once I got here, and sure enough, I'm in Delhi and now have Delhi belly. I've got a feeling that our legs aren't the same. $17,500 feet, the closest I've ever been to God, and I feel absolutely terrible.
If it's peace and quiet you want, don't come to Tokyo.
One apple, 2,000 yen, £14, £15 for one apple.
Got this feeling that things are going to get a bit warmer. Things are just getting spookier and spookier. Ooh. Interesting.
You've probably heard of the Aztec and the Inca. We've only just begun to unravel the mystery of another great culture, the Maya.
We've been in Guatemala City for 20 minutes. We're trying to get out as fast as possible.
It ain't no Disneyland.
What do you think happened to the Mayan civilization?
I think the Mayans, as much as I've read about them, eventually killed themselves off in wars.
The best part of this whole room is the carpet. My little sandy carpet.
A couple of weeks ago, my only knowledge of Brazil was that they drank a lot of coffee and Pele lives there. I think I've got a lot to learn. Oh, no way. Oh, that wants to squeeze me. I can feel it.
All right, this is Zimbabwe, this is Zambia, the Zambezi River, and this is the highest structured bungee jump in the world. It's 111 metres. I thought this would be a good way to start our trip to Africa.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bungee!
actually found a line.
Urinawa?
Ja, Urinawa.
Chasito, baby. Yeah!
I'm sitting half in the northern hemisphere, half in the southern, right on the equator, in the middle of the country named after it, Ecuador.
It's good, sweet. It doesn't taste like it has any of the paint on it.
Moose, whales, wolves, and polar bears. Now that's the state of Alaska. $20 a night, you can rent a cabin in the Kenai Fields National Park. This is living in the wilderness. There's even records visitors book. We'll just check, see who last was on here. Last entry, John Malky from Canada. I was wandering in a bear smashed through the door and... Oh. I'm sure it's not that bad.